Welcome to the 30th episode of Tunesday Tuesday with yours truly, Boston Chris. Guys, we have a special treat for everybody out there tonight. The Book Nook Fairy, the one and only Tommi Jo, is my singer-songwriter guest this week on Tunesday Tuesday. You were just listening to her with her beautiful song Paralyzed, and we're going to be talking about her brand new single, which is called Thorns and Roses. She's an interesting artist from right here in East Texas, and I'm super stoked to talk with her tonight and kind of show you guys who she is and how amazing she is as well. But we'll get into that in 1 second. If you are watching on Twitch or Facebook, then you are hearing my voice live, which means that you can request songs. And if you want to request a song, again on Facebook or Twitch, all you got to do is type the name of the song and the artist of the song in your chat, and just make sure it's not offensive or vulgar in any way, and we will definitely play it. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, thank you so much for that. Remember, if you are watching one of those, then you are probably watching the interview portion of this. And if you would like to watch the entire recap of episode 30, which includes all the songs we're going to play tonight, which is, I think, 20 of them, with 3 different tributes tonight. Unfortunately, we had 3 legendary musicians pass away: Lou Christie, Mick Ralphs, and Bobby Sherman all passed away this week, so we'll be playing songs from them. So make sure you're clicking the link in the description if you'd like to check out Tommi Jo's webpage or the entire recap of this interview, or episode rather. Without any further ado, guys, we're going to get into our interview with Miss Tommi Jo right now. Tommi Jo, hello, hello. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great, doing great. I guess my category says PUBG. Let me fix that real quick. Thank you for that, viewers out there. Let me fix that. And then we'll get into it with Tommi. Tommi, you're from Tyler, right?
I am,
I thought
yes.
so. Okay. Thank you for catching that out there. We want people to follow the music, not the gaming. There it goes. All right, that should be updated now out there. Double check for me all. All right, there we go. Hopefully. All right, so you're from Tyler, Texas. I love your music because you're a book nerd, just like me. And
Yes.
I follow you on social media, and like 90% of your posts on social media are about books, which I love that. So the first question I have
Yes.
for you: are you an only child like me? I'm curious.
I'm not an only child. I'm kind of an oldest sibling. I have 2 older brothers, but they were moved out before I was born, so I'm in the middle, I guess.
I'm always
So,
curious about that because as an only child, like books were my escape. Like I had no brothers and sisters to play with, so
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
always into. So you're into like fantasy, right? Like fantasy
Yes.
genre.
Yes. Fantasy genre. I have been ever since I was very little.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've had this before, but they used to have like AR points when I was in school,
Mm-hmm.
and you would read books and get points by taking quizzes on them.
Yeah.
And man, I would just like devour books. I read like the Harry Potter series for the first time in a week.
Yeah.
Like it was extravagant. So, yeah, that's just something I've always loved and
I remember
yeah.
when the 8th book came out of the Harry Potter series. I read it twice. I waited in line at Hastings at midnight to get the book, and then at 5 a.m. I had read it twice already.
That's amazing.
That was
That's
the
amazing.
eighth the eighth book. That thing's like that thick, right? Like it's
Yep.
crazy.
Wow. That's a kindred soul right there. I love
Yeah,
it.
and it's funny. I married an author. She's a fantasy author as well. She's working on a novel right now. So um,
Okay. You'll
we're
have to
connect
send me
y'all.
her
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Yes,
I
please.
definitely need to connect y'all. So I guess I know that you write music based on the stories you're reading, but has it always been that way musically for you?
No, no, it really hasn't. I have always been a very story-driven artist. I started writing when I was 14. I picked up a guitar, and the way that I wanted to learn was by writing. And at first, a big inspiration of mine is Taylor Swift, so I tried to like do some really old country Taylor Swift kind of songs. But as my music developed and sound developed, I became much more not necessarily love romance driven as I was stories and just things that happen in
So
life.
I wasn't going to throw it out there because comparing a young songwriter to Taylor Swift is it's never fair, right? It's just
Yeah,
not. Like
yeah.
she's just at a level all by herself, in my opinion. But honestly,
Mhm.
when I listen to you, it gives me the folklore vibes. It truly does.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
it
That's
really
such a
does.
compliment.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I wasn't going to tell you that because that's a lot of pressure. Like talking about Taylor Swift with a young songwriter, but truly, yeah, that's it gives me those vibes, and that's why I love it so much.
Thank you.
So, like, what made you want to start like putting music to the characters you were reading about? What gave you the
Yeah.
idea?
Yeah, so honestly, so like I said, when I was very self-taught when I first started writing, but when my parents realized that, oh, this is not just like a hobby, this is like a passion, they enrolled me in lessons with John DeFore out of
Oh my
Mineola.
God! Of course.
And yeah, he trained Miranda Lambert and Casey Musgraves, so many other incredible songwriters. And so when I started training under him, he was just super. He would each week it would be like, okay, I want you to go home and write a song about a woman named Judy, and she lives in an insane asylum, and like it was just like very out of the box, but it grew me so much as a songwriter because I as a 16-year-old kid would never have thought to like get in somebody's head like that.
Hmm.
And so that has slowly developed, and when I write these songs about different books or stories, it kind of brings me back to that of it's like a topic, it's a challenge to try and capture an entire story that somebody wrote into a song.
Yeah, man, it does not surprise me that John DeFore got his claws into you, man. Not at all. Like when you said that name, and like I know what I'm hearing with your music, it does not surprise me. What I loved about John so much was his ability to tell somebody like it was in a respectful way, with being critical. It was so important.
Hmm.
It's so important to a young songwriter to hear negative criticism in a
Hmm.
respectful way. And John had mastered that art to be able to tell you how it is without really hurting your feelings. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I had very few songs that impressed him, but when there was one, I was like, "Oh man, like I hit something there, you know." But he was all about just keep writing, keep writing, keep writing. Like don't there's no such thing as writer's block. Just keep
Hmm.
writing, you know. And so that's gotten me through so much.
Yeah,
So,
I love
yeah.
John DeFore so much. I mean, so much. I miss him so
That's
much too.
awesome.
But
Hmm.
I did not know that. It's not on your bio. Like I had no idea I was going
Oh,
to hear his name tonight. So I'm kind of blown
oh.
away. That's great though. It's really good to know that his legacy is still being passed down, still being utilized. Let me ask you this as a songwriter because listening to your stuff and guys, she has a YouTube. There's lots of music that Tommi Jo has out there. So I hope you guys will check that out. We played Paralyzed in our open tonight, just so you know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I love that song.
I do too. But it's out there, and you guys definitely need to deep dive into Tommi Jo. My question is you are really good at creating a 3 to 5 minute story based on characters that you've read about. But are you
Mhm.
also able to do that from just a story you've kind of created it from your own mind? Like a lot of songwriters will just go through life and maybe you're people watching or something, and you'll
Mhm.
create a backstory around somebody, give them a character. Are you able to do that as well?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the songs on my debut EP, the Nice to Meet You EP, are
Mm-hmm.
like that. Um, and just kind of, yeah, like you said, people watching. I would say something a bit more challenging for me is writing about myself.
Yeah.
And so, but it's cool, you know, writing is a form of processing. So even if I am creating a story about somebody else, there's a bit of whatever I'm going through kind of mixed in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes the song is this combination of all of those things.
So
So,
cool.
yeah.
I love that. And I read on your webpage that you have a possible full length record either on its way or already out. Is that right?
Yes, it's not out yet. We are still working on it, and I'm so excited about it.
So when can we expect it? Like what's going on with it?
Yeah, so I'm hoping for August is what we're now shooting for.
Okay.
It was going to be spring and then it was going to be summer, but now I think it's going to be August. I'm really kind of set on that. That's what I'm hoping for, very end of August. And the album is called Fairy Tales,
Yeah.
and it's what it sounds like. It's an album with a about fairy tales all the way from the classics that we grew up with to more modern things that I've read and just fallen with. So I'm very, very excited about it.
It sounds so cool, and I can't wait to hear it. Really,
Thanks.
honestly. Okay, so there's two songs that we're featuring tonight, and her pick of the week has changed, which I'm really happy about, by the way, because so I blind react to all the picks, right? And obviously, I'd already heard the Casey Musgrave song. So
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
single week, whatever the pick of the week is, I always blind react to it. So this artist I have not heard yet, so I'm excited about it. Her name is Raylyn Gale, and the name of
Mm-hmm.
the song is Alcohol. So why did you pick this song for your pick of the week?
Yeah, so Raylan is actually an artist friend of mine. Crazy story. We met in seventh grade at Pine Cove. We happened to get stuck in the same cabin together, and we both showed up with our guitars, and we were both songwriters. And at first, there was a bit of like a healthy competition between the
Yeah,
two of us. And then over the years, we would come the same week and would just kind of rub shoulders and see each other. Well, then I went to school at DBU for music business and songwriting. And then a year later, she shows up at DBU with music business. It's just been this crazy journey for both of us of kind of going from like some healthy competition to just an artist that I work with. We co write together sometimes. And she's so stinking talented and she just can perform like nothing else like nothing I've ever seen. She's just so talented. Her lyrics are so clever. Something that I just absolutely admire about her is like my music is very Americana. It's kind of more like in the woods and nature and stuff. And she's like a pop princess, country pop
yeah.
princess, and it's just like, oh, anyways, I just love her.
So
So
it's
yeah.
hard to compete when you're that much different. So it actually
Yeah.
probably worked out well then, huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. We were both able to kind of settle into our personalities and be able to complement one another. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
great.
amazing stuff. We'll be playing that song right after Tommy Joe's featured song, which, again, we've already said is called Thorns and Roses. Is this going to be part of the new record coming out in August?
Yes, this is the first single released from that record. So I'm
Yeah.
very,
So
very excited about
tell
it.
us what it's about before we play it.
Yeah, so Thorns and Roses is one of the contemporary fairy tales I mentioned. It's about a book series called A Court of Thorns and Roses, and this is like one of the number one fantasy book series in the world. And it's written by this author named Sarah J. Maas. And people that are unfamiliar with it, I describe it as a Beauty and the Beast kind of retelling with a twist ending to it. So you'll kind of get some of that imagery in the song. But I was just inspired one night after reading the second book. I was like, man, this series is so good. So that's where it came from.
Is that how it happens for you every time too? Like you just put the book down and then you're just like right onto the pen. You just have to get the pen out and start writing
Hmm.
down what you hear or see.
Not every time. Sometimes it takes some time to like mull. I just finished a book a few weeks ago and I knew I wanted to write something about it, but it just didn't come. And then like last night, I was like, okay, I got the hook. I know what I'm doing now. But most of the time I can tell if it's a book that I'm going to end up writing a song about or not by the time I'm done with the story. So,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what, man, you're amazing at it. And seriously, I couldn't believe when you reached out that you were right here in Tyler, Texas, the whole time. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, there is a songwriter like this living literally like three towns over from me. I couldn't believe it.
Thank
You are
you.
super talented. Really excited to have you on tonight, and hopefully we can do more shows together in the future.
Yeah,
We're
that
excited to
would be
play your
awesome.
music, and I hope you have a great night, Tommy Joe. Thanks for coming
Thank you
on.
so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into the music, y'all. All right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to play all of our songs tonight. We have 20 songs, plus we've already got one request that came in. But we're going to start with our Tommy Joe song, which is amazing, and then her pick of the week. We have 3 tributes tonight and our 3 artists of the week as well, which are later on. Remember, guys, you can request songs if you're watching live on Twitch or Facebook. If you're not on Twitch or Facebook, that means you are watching this in the future, and thank you for doing so on YouTube and Spotify. If you are just watching the interview and you would like to watch the entire recap, there is a link in your description below where you can get the entire episode 30 recap.